I'm surprised how challenging it is to see the Milky Way core, even in the desert here. Heading out to Borrego Springs area to take in the Milky Way. It's been a long time, years since I've done any meaningful astrophotography, so I wanted to do it today. It's a new moon, it's clear skies in the forecast. Borrego Springs is a pretty dark place, not a lot of lights around, and I think it's appropriate. I'm currently driving on old Milky Way, although now that I'm looking at all the cows outside, I wonder if old Milky Way is a reference to the galaxy, or just this used to be, you know, a dairy farming road. Off to a bit of a false start on this trip already. Maybe 10 minutes into the drive, I realized I forgot to bring a chair to sit in. You know, you're waiting for the Earth to rotate for the Milky Way to rise up, and you don't want to be standing that entire time or sitting on the ground. So I took the 20-minute hit to double back, get the chair. I think I'll be happy I did that. I hope I'm happy I did that. Hoping those clouds that are hanging out over the mountains in the distance, that they are on the west side of the ridge that I need to go over. Because I don't want that in the sky to get the Milky Way. I want that sky to be clear. The weather forecast really suggests it. Very clear skies out in Borrego Springs. I'm still looking for those clouds to fully fade away. The sky to camera left looks a lot emptier. There we go. Clearing the ridge, sky's looking good. A little bit of mist out there, a little haze, I guess we'd say. That is the Salton Sea way back in the distance. Yeah, that'll clear out. That'll burn off. That'll be gone. Just cleared the final ridge and starting my windy descent down to the desert floor. Sky's looking good. It's cleared out quite a bit. So I think conditions are going to be good for tonight. And yeah, I'm getting excited about capturing a nice arch of the Milky Way. Heading to a spot called Clark Dry Lake. Moons ago it was a lake. Now it's just empty. You know, packed sand, a lot of like what you see around me here in the desert. And there are a few like scrub trees, you know, reasonable sized ones, but I remember a few being kind of isolated. That'll be a good foreground subject to just anchor enough of the foreground and then let the rest of the scene just be the expanse of the sky. And the sky is very nice and clear, especially to the eastern skies, and that's where I'll ultimately be pointing my camera tonight. So right now it's get to this place while there's still enough light. I can see where I'm driving in. I can find my compositions reasonably well, and then wait until the wee hours until it's time to capture the core of the Milky Way. So I'm out here on Clark Dry Lake, and sure enough, it's very, very dry. The trees and things that I remember from a few years ago, I don't see any of them here anymore. Not surprising, the landscape's always changing. But this expanse behind me, and then just the ridges coming down on either side, I'm just going to use that for some natural framing on the core when it comes up. I like the ridge behind me. It's a nice shape, and as you know, I'm checking the photo pills and doing a little AR type stuff here. At around 2:30 in the morning, the Milky Way kind of just rides right over that ridge. That'd be great if I could see the ridge at night, so I don't think that's going to be as compelling a photo. I don't want that much ridge in the photo where it just becomes a black mass and there's not like a really stellar piece of foreground there. So I'm more looking toward this direction here where the ridge tapers off and then lands into the valley. and I can have just a sliver of the horizon there, that ridge giving a little context, and there's still a nice arc, where the stars and the core of the Milky Way will come through. So that's what I'm going to aim for. And so before the light fades, I need to really dial in the composition so that, all right, put the tripod in a spot, because once it gets really dark out here, I won't be far from the car, but I do need to find the tripod and get working and so forth, basically in the dark. Gotta grab my 20 millimeter. That's the lens I'll be using tonight. It's my fastest glass. It goes to a 1.4, I think, but I'm probably going to use it at about 2.8. The last thing for me to do really is just figure out the camera settings. One other thing that I do like about Photo Pills is its calculators are really nice. This is feeling an ad for Photo Pills, believe me. I don't get reimbursed by them. I'd love it if I did. But I'm looking for spot stars. I don't want trails. I don't want anything like that. I want crisp, clean stars. And so I've got a Sony a7R II. I got that in there. I think I'll be shooting at 2.8. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is telling me that there's two different rules, rule of 500 and the NFP rule, which takes into account your megapixels on your camera. If I want like super accurate, I'm talking 6 seconds, and that's all I get. If I'm okay with barely noticeable trails, barely, I must be saying that wrong. Barely noticeable trails. That's giving me about 12 seconds. So between 6 and 12, after that, I'm pushing it too far, and I'm going to get some sort of smear on the stars. So I think 6 to 12. So split the difference. I'll probably start with 9 seconds. ISO 3200. I'll just dial all this stuff in kind of right now, so that everything's set. So manual mode, 2.8. Let's say I can't do 9 seconds, I can do 8. That sounds fine. And then my ISO needs to go up to something like, I'm gonna start at, I'll start at 1600, probably bump that up from there, but I'll start someplace and then dial things in. So I got my settings, that's ready to go, plenty of batteries ready to go, tripod's ready to go, and now I just need to wait. So this will be like the floating head video here, because I'm sure the only thing you can see is my head disembodied and floating in a sea of black. That's about what it is out here right now. And I've spent the last bit of time fine-tuning my focus and just waiting now for the Earth to rotate. There's no one else around here, and I can ruin my night vision for 20-30 minutes, because I have more like 4 hours or so to wait before the Milky Way comes up above the horizon, or at least the core of the Milky Way. A little dashboard light recap here. It's still super dark out. It's about 4:30 in the morning. The Milky Way has risen up enough into the sky where I'm happy with the captures I have. It's getting a little challenging to keep the arc of the Milky Way in the frame along with some foreground. So yeah, I'm gonna call it an evening/morning and start my journey back to San Diego. Maybe I'll take in a sunrise on the way back. But this was fun. This was it was good. It was a nice change up for me, and hadn't done astro in a bunch of years. So I'm excited to get these images back into the machine and see what detail comes out. I have my fingers crossed that I was able to nail the focus. That was probably my biggest challenge here. So start the drive, finish up, drink all my coffee here so I'm alert for the way back. Oh, I love these washboard roads.